and welcome to part 5 of my Getting On in GTA series. So you now have an apartment, an armoured Kuruma, which is that car I've tucked away behind that hedge, and at least one gun. The next thing I recommend you save up for is some kind of business. Now, there are 3 active businesses and a bunch of different passive businesses in the game. Active means you actually have to be doing something in order to make money. So there's a crate business, you have to go and collect the crates, they don't just appear. There's a vehicle warehouse business, you have to go and steal the cars. There's also an air freight business, and again, you have to go and steal the crates, they don't just appear. The passive businesses are the bunker and the 5 motorbike club businesses, and there's also the nightclub. All of those things will make you money with very little effort. You do have to still sell the goods, but you can resupply just with money. You don't have to actually go and steal the supplies all the time. You can steal the supplies, but generally, once you've been in the game for a while, you don't bother. You just resupply with money, once you've got enough money to do that with. It cuts down a little bit on your profits, but time is money, and it saves you time. So I'm going to go down for this video the options you can have starting out on the CEO side of things. To be a CEO, you have to own an office. And I'm standing outside Lombard Bank West, which is not too far from the beach. The beach is just the other side of that fence that you can see in the distance, okay? In fact, I can bring up the full-size map. So this is my office. The beach is just over here. There's another office right here, Maze Bank West, and that's actually the cheapest one, and that's the one that most people start with, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's a couple in the centre of town as well, which are much, much more expensive. I think one is about 2.5 million, the other one's 4 million. This one is 1.5 million, as opposed to 1 million for the cheapest one. And the couple of reasons I like this, the roof access is much easier. If you're going up to the roof to get into a helicopter or something else on a helicopter pad, it's much easier. Some of the other ones, in fact, I think all the other ones, there's a bunch of different steps you have to navigate your way up. This one, you go straight on the roof, up onto the helicopter pad, and you're there. And I'll show you that. So I'm going to exit to the roof. Go through this little animation every time. And the helicopter pad is right there, almost the same level as I am. I would just run up here, hop in my helicopter, and I'm away. Also, it's close to the beach, and just down there on the beach, when I have my own personal helicopter, it will spawn right down there. So I can save time getting to my personal helicopter by summoning it, parachuting off this roof down to the beach over there, and hopping in my personal helicopter. And I'll show you about helicopters later on. But just be aware, this is $500,000 more than the cheapest one. And $500,000 is a lot of money at this level. Well, you see it says Maze Bank right there. That Maze Bank building is the cheapest office. It's $1 million for an office in that building. And it's absolutely fine. I had that for a very long time, and I only changed recently. The inside of the office is exactly the same regardless of where it is. It's just the location that's different for the money. And the top of the building that's different. So what does an office get you? First of all, when you own an office, you are now have the option of becoming a Securiserve CEO, which gives you certain privileges and advantages. It can also make you a target for some people. You get an assistant.
Oh, hi.
And
how can I help you?
She can help you call Pegasus, she can call in your personal vehicle, and she can give you snacks.
Just let me know what you need.
So, you now don't have to buy snacks in the corner store. You can just get them free
I'll give you some more.
in your office.
Looks like your
They don't
pockets
cost
are
much,
full.
but it's just a convenience.
Bye.
You can add living accommodation, but you don't need it. You've already got accommodation in your apartment. I just put this in here because I have plenty of money. You get a lounge area with a TV, and you can watch the TV just like you can in your apartment or your apartment garage. It's convenient if you were already here and you need to pause for some reason. This area over here is just kind of color it. You don't need it. You can sit down at your board table. It doesn't do anything. And there are 3 laptops here that people can use. But the laptop is exactly the same as what you get on your cell phone. So since everyone already has a cell phone when they start the game, these laptops are really just for color. They're not really useful in any way. Another little lounge area here.
Remember,
It kind of
I'll
looks
do
like an
anything
office, but
as
of
long
course
as
you don't
it's
really need
legal.
to use most of those
Ish.
features. There's a telescope as well. There's a place to have a drink if you want a drink. You can add, and I haven't bothered, a gun locker. And that allows you to change your gun loadout, so you're not scrolling through dozens of different types of guns. You can pick your favorite ones and just have those. However, I find that it disables that special feature a lot of the time, so it's not even all that useful. And you can have a safe, and the safe is absolute garbage. There's no point whatsoever in having it. I bought one when it was cheap and discovered it. You don't get to put all this cash that's lying around in your safe. You can't take money out of your bank account and put it in your safe. It's already full of fake bills, just like these bills lying on the floor. And you can't do anything. All you can do is open it and shut it. So don't waste your money on that. Once you have an office, you have the Securicore login. Sorry, SecuriServe login. And you log in, you don't need to type the password, by the way, that's automatic. There are 2 types of business, active businesses you run from this computer. One is special cargo and one is vehicle cargo. I recommend you start with special cargo. You can own up to 5 warehouses, but 1 is enough to start with. This is the one I own, the small one I own, and it holds up to 16 crates. A medium will hold up to 42 crates, and a large warehouse will go as high as 111. If you fill the entire warehouse, you want to sell it because it's going to get raided if you leave it sitting there and you're playing around on the map doing other things. So you can fill a large one up to 75 crates, I think some people say as high as 77, without risking a raid. Once you go above that number, there's a reasonable chance you're going to get raided. And it's happened to me a couple of times. And if you do get raided, you're almost guaranteed to lose some of your crates, and that's really annoying. So I would prefer to sell at a lower level than to wait until fill it all up. Now my small warehouse here only has 3 crates in it, and I'm going to put a few more in there in the next video. I like this one because it's the nearest one I can get to my office. And at the moment I'm going to show you how you run from your office to your warehouse and back again to collect crates. Other small warehouses on the map. There's one up here, which I did have for a while. It's kind of nice because it's nearer to the center of the overall island map. And if there are crate drops up this kind of area up here, clearly this is going to be the closest one to get back to. There's also 4 in a string down here. This is the cheapest one and the one most people start with. It only costs $250,000. And I've had that one before and used it quite successfully. So I can't remember how much this one is, but this one's $250. They're all in that kind of $250,000 to $500,000 range. I wouldn't bother with these ones right down on the island. They're so far away from everything, they're actually difficult to get to. They're actually not as good as the cheap $250,000 one here. And there's one tucked over here, $318,000. So I would actually just stick with this one for $250,000. Or this one I think is the most expensive because it's nearer the center of the map. It's actually a pretty good location. I like this one because it's near my office. The other business you can run from your office computer is the vehicle cargo. You need to buy a vehicle warehouse, and I have one. They cost around $1.5 million to start with. So I'm just going to show all of them. The one I have is this one. But there's a few others spread around the map. And my other character, I have this one down here, which I think is the cheapest. Oh, 260. No, it must be this one. This one. Yeah, that one's the cheapest at $1.5 million. And it works fine. Once you started putting vehicles in it, you're not going to be able to change to another warehouse unless you sell all of those vehicles. It doesn't allow you to swap to another warehouse, I've discovered. That's kind of annoying. So once you've picked one, you're kind of stuck with it. This one is a little bit more convenient than this one down here. I wouldn't really bother with any of these other ones unless you've got a particular reason you think that's a better one. It can hold up to 40 vehicles, but you're not going to completely fill it if you do sourcing vehicles. you're going to want to put in enough that every time you source a vehicle, it's a top-end vehicle. And I'll show you how we do that when I do the vehicle warehouse video. For now, I'm going to sign out of this, and then I'm going to show you a couple of special cargo missions.